Hi, everyone. This is my last video recording to you. This is on speech number 5, the special occasion speech, which should be one of the most enjoyable and personal speeches that you'll do the entire semester because it will showcase all of the skills that you've learned so far in terms of being persuasive and giving information and drawing in your audience and using your vocal and your physical nonverbal skills to draw the audience in. So in this speech, you get to pick the method of delivery. It could be extemporaneous, where you're using your 3x5 note cards. It can also be more manuscript form, where you're using your notes. You get to pick the way you want to deliver the speech. Also, you get to pick the type of speech, the topic, and type of special occasion speech you're doing. And these are all listed in chapter 16. There's two main kinds of speeches: workplace and ceremonial for special occasion speeches. So if you're doing a workplace related speech, it would be more like a speech about public relations, or where maybe you're working for a company and you're giving some kind of a presentation about a project or an upcoming event. If you're doing a ceremonial speech, this may be a lot more fun because it could be like a toast at a wedding, or it could be something at a baby shower. It can be presenting an award speech or receiving an award. It can be a thank you speech. It can be a keynote address, a commencement speech, or a commemorative address, such as like at a graduation or a holiday. So you get to pick the type of speech that you want to do. And this is to utilize all of the skills that you've learned this semester. So in order to do this speech, you'll be preparing a 2 to 3 minute speech this time. So it's a little bit shorter and the time limit is important. You can create a hypothetical context, meaning that let's say you're giving your imaginary Academy Award speech. You could do that if you wanted to. Use humor, use persuasion, still can give us information. Share aspects of your personality, share aspects of your personal life, the way you did in the cultural artifact speech. And if you wanted to do a speech where you're addressing a member of the class, because hopefully you've gotten to know each other a little bit in the discussions, you could, but you have to ask their permission and also my permission to do that. May not be a good idea to do that unless you know somebody well in the class. So to organize your outline, again, I'm giving you a clear outline. I want you to follow the guided outline. Um, and it will be posted in Canvas. I'm posting this by Monday, November the 9th. You can download it for your rough draft and for your final draft. The main two elements of the outline are context and meaning. So in the body of the speech, you need to tell us, who you're speaking to, why are they interested in the information you're giving them, what kind of an audience you're talking to, and also what's the main message that you want to get across. The best speeches follow the guided outline exactly in terms of your planning and organizing of it before you actually do your video. Then when you do your video, you're comfortable with it because you've written it and rewritten it and thought about it, and you can bring more of your personality to the speech. It should be coherent, definitely use good articulation. It can be entertaining. These speeches, depending upon what kind you pick, your personality can really come through. But if it could also be something very personal or introspective, like a eulogy about the loss of someone that you loved. That's very powerful too. So you get to pick the style and the way that you want to deliver it. The most important things are that you pick something that is important to you care about, you believe in, and you can really get behind. Though these are your own words, you still have to own the words, own the language, own the ideas, what you want to get across to the audience. You have to be communicating to the audience, not just reading your speech. The audience will tune out, even if it's just me listening. Any audience will tune out if you don't talk directly to the camera and if there's anybody in the room to talk to, but really bring forth your authenticity and your sense of truth, or your pleasure and enjoyment in what you're talking about. You have to bring your emotional life through on all of these speeches. So again, your passion, your enthusiasm, and your conviction are absolutely important for the credibility of your speech and the success of your delivery. In terms of submission, you'll be submitting your rough draft in assignments, just the way we did it for the persuasive speech. And I think this worked really well because then I can give you the annotated notes. I'm sorry, I wasn't doing that all along. I think I started doing that. And then I switched to discussions because I wanted you all to be able to read each other's speeches to feel more like a class where you're really sharing and supporting each other's speeches. But a lot of people had trouble with the format of the outlines in discussions, so I didn't know about that. So I do want you to submit your rough draft that will be graded and corrected in assignments. And again, I will create a separate discussions assignment where you can post your speech for your classmates to read, and you can make a peer reply and earn an extra 5 points for doing that. And that won't be due until your final draft is due, but you can always post it before that. Okay, so the rough draft, I had to move it up a week, and I'm sorry about that because the Thanksgiving break is coming from November 26th to November 29th. And I wanted to have you send in your final drafts by December the 6th, but I realized it's way too late because it's taking me so long to read your rough drafts and give you notes and revisions, have you do the revisions. A lot of students have, so they could improve their rough draft grade. Then doing your final drafts and doing your video, I just will not have enough time to read all of your speeches fairly and fully if I wait that long. So I had to move the rough draft up till November 22nd. And the final draft, I'm going to post that due November 30th, which is the day after the Thanksgiving break. So the Thanksgiving break goes from the November 26th to Sunday, the 29th. So I'll make it due on Monday, the 30th. If you get it done earlier, I'm hoping everybody will, because I want to get as much grading done as possible too. Then you can have a Thanksgiving break because we all deserve that. Everybody's been working so hard this semester. I know that, but there's no way I can wait till the week later. And I do apologize for that, but I realized, in order to be fair to you in the grading, I have to have more time. Okay, so I think I made that clear. And then November 15th, we'll do either a discussion or a quiz. I'll probably make it a discussion and have you do peer replies where you talk about the type of special occasion speech you think you might want to do and the reason why you might want to do that kind of a speech. In terms of the updated guidelines for the rough draft and the final draft, it's all in the transcript. You want to give me the context and the meaning of the speech, include the type of special occasion, why it's relevant to your audience, the main thing you want to get across. And type it. It should be 12-point font. Times Roman is usually preferable. Follow the outline exactly. And envision yourself saying these words to somebody. Hopefully you really will have somebody in the room. A few students have been able to do that. And be clear, be explicit. Remember, they've never heard these words before. And you can be a little bit less formal in the speech. You can be yourself. And like I said, let your personality come through more. But you want to use good grammar and good articulation. Because sometimes when I've said, write the way you speak, students have not been using good grammar or good articulation. So I want to make sure that you're remembering you're still giving a speech. You need to spell it and proofread it and speak it well. Okay, good. Vocal and physical delivery skills, the same things. You need to vary the pitch and vary the rhythm and vary the tempo. Use your operative words or your keywords that get across the main elements of your message that you're passionate about. And good articulation as well. And as far as the nonverbal, you can move a little bit away from the camera. I don't have much room here, or to the camera. Whatever you're comfortable with, some simple gestures. Facial expressions are really important on camera, and eye contact with the camera as much as possible. I know how hard that is when you don't know all the words exactly that you're saying, But hopefully you'll be familiar enough, as I'm trying to be, with the transcript that you can just talk right to the camera. And I know it's hard to do that. It often looks like you're looking up or looking down, but just do the best you can. The main thing is do not read your speech. So some of you have really handled this well, where you've got your text right by the camera, but I can still tell when you're reading it because the voice goes flat, there's no facial expression, and there's hardly any change in the voice. Those three things will make the audience tune out. You have to try to engage the audience. That's a big part of giving a speech. Otherwise, there's no point in giving a speech if nobody wants to listen to it, right? So you are a communicator. You have to get behind what you're saying and make it your mission to come through that camera and talk right to the listeners. And imagine there's an audience there and the kind of audience you'd be saying these words to. Enjoy it. You know, it does take rhetorical skill, it takes confidence to give a good speech. So you want to use everything that you've learned this semester and try to make this your best speech. I did not include any samples because a lot of them were personal from previous classes. However, there are some samples in the book. I might look and see if there's a useful one. Otherwise, I'm just going to post the transcript without a sample. But so you're kind of on your own in this speech, but if you follow the PowerPoints or read the chapter, you'll have a good idea, and you'll follow the outline. You'll be able to write this speech just as easily as if you did have a sample in front of you. Okay, everyone. So be proud of your work and enjoy your speech, and be a little looser and a little bit more free in front of the camera. And you've been a great class. I want to thank you ahead of time in case I don't get to see you again on camera. And happy early Thanksgiving. All right. Thank you, everybody. Bye. Email me if you have questions.